You are about to live a life where flies will try to pop your head clean off, a fungus will hijack your muscles while your mind stays fully awake inside, and your own sisters might one day execute their own mother. This is what it's actually like to be born a worker ant. It starts in the dark. You crack out of an egg smaller than a grain of rice, laid by a queen who produces tens of thousands more just like you every single day. You can't see, you can't walk, you can't feed yourself. A nurse finds you anyway. She presses food into your mouth, warm, already digested, exact. You will need this every few hours for weeks, and you cannot ask for it out loud. Instead, you secrete a chemical that quietly shuts down her own ability to reproduce. Not because you understand power, not because you're cruel, because that is simply the price of being a larva in a colony of 20 quadrillion. Skip forward. You molt. You spin a cocoon. Inside it, your body dissolves itself and rebuilds from nothing. When you finally break free, you're what's called a callow. Soft, pale, almost see-through. Your jaws don't work yet. They're too weak to cut, too weak to fight, too weak to do anything but stay shut. So you wait in the nursery, pulling zinc and manganese out of your food, watching the metal settle into your own teeth one molecule at a time. Days pass. Your jaws darken. They harden. Eventually, your bite is 3 times stronger than it was the day you hatched. You don't know yet what those teeth are for. This is the recurring tension. The colony calls it duty. You don't have a word for it. You only feel the pull, toward the trail, toward the next leaf, toward the next load, every hour, every day, until your body stops working. Skip forward. Something shifts inside your skull. A hormone called inotosin starts climbing, and with it your whole sense of the world changes. The warm tunnels that felt safe now feel wrong. You drift toward the entrance. You stand at the threshold of the only home you've ever known. You step outside. The light is enormous. The air doesn't smell like anything you recognize. And somewhere above the canopy, a fly the size of a pinhead is already tracking the scent of you. You learn to cut. At first you're clumsy. You saw at a leaf edge for 10 seconds and gain nothing. You try again. You drop the piece. The third time, a sliver finally tears free, and you carry it home like it's the only thing that matters. For one moment, you feel something close to pride. Then the trail calls you back out. Here is what you become once you're fully grown into the job. You carry 50 times your own body weight without stopping. You navigate kilometers of forest floor using nothing but the angle of the sun. You cut, carry, ferment, and feed an underground farm that none of you ever planted by hand. You do this every day. You do this without rest. And the colony simply expects more. Then the sky changes. You don't smell it coming. You don't have time to smell it. A fly no bigger than a grain of sand drops out of the canopy and, in less than a second, plants something inside your chest. You barely stagger. You keep working. For days, nothing seems wrong. Then something starts moving behind your eyes. You don't know what's inside you. You don't know it's already eating. One morning your legs stop answering. You fold to the ground, twitching, while something behind your face finishes what it started a week ago. Your head comes away from your body on its own. The thing inside doesn't even need to crawl out. It waits, using the hollow space where your mind used to be, until it's ready to fly. Not every threat comes from the sky. Somewhere else, in a different colony, one of your sisters marches in a column of hundreds toward a termite mound. The termites fight back with mandibles built to crush, not slice. She loses a leg, then another. She doesn't panic. She tucks her remaining limbs against her body and releases a chemical signal that means, simply, come get me. Her sisters carry her home. Nestmates lick the wound with antimicrobial saliva, and her odds of survival jump from 1 in 10 to 9 in 10. But if she loses 5 legs instead of 2, the calculus changes. The colony cannot spend energy carrying what it cannot save. She knows this too. She thrashes. She fights off her own rescuers until they give up and leave her where she fell. If you go down out there, no one carries you home unless the math says you're worth it. This is the cruel truth underneath all of it. You were never built to last. Your queen, genetically almost identical to you, can live nearly 30 years. You get a few months, if the flies and the fungus and the spiders don't find you first. Your brain alone costs more to run than it's worth. In the smallest workers, simply keeping it alive burns nearly 40% of your entire resting energy. So evolution did the efficient thing. It gave you only enough brain to find your way home, and not one neuron more. Across the wider world, your sisters take this arrangement to extremes you'll never personally see. Some carry mandibles that snap shut at 100,000 times the force of gravity, faster than your eye could ever register it happening. Some explode their own abdomens on command, rupturing themselves to drown a predator in glue. Some don't even get to keep their own names. Entire armies exist that have forgotten how to feed themselves. Their jaws are built only for piercing, not for foraging, not for nursing. So they raid. They breach a rival nest, ignore the defenders entirely, and steal the unborn. Thousands of pupae in a single afternoon. When those pupae hatch inside the wrong colony, they imprint on the smell around them, and spend their entire lives serving an empire that was never theirs, never knowing they were taken at all. And some give up everything just to win a different cage. In one species, when the queen dies, the workers fight for 40 days straight, dueling with their antennae like fencers, until a winner emerges. She gets 5 times the lifespan. Her ovaries finally switch on. Her brain shrinks by 19% to pay for it. That is the only promotion available to you. Outlive your sisters in a tournament, then lose part of your mind as the entry fee. Even motherhood isn't safe from the colony's math. In one quiet species, the workers wake from winter sleep and decide, together, that their queen has stopped being useful. They don't hesitate. They swarm her, bite off her legs, bite off her antennae, and end her life themselves. Not out of malice, but because her death lets them lay eggs of their own. Sometimes the betrayal isn't even chosen. A stranger queen slips into a rival nest, disguises her scent, and sprays the resident queen with a chemical mist. The spray does one thing only. It makes the mother smell, to her own daughters, like an enemy. The workers don't know they've been tricked. They simply smell danger, and they tear their own mother apart to stop it. Here's the detail that stays with the people who study you for a living. When you finally collapse, on a trail, in a tunnel, anywhere, your body starts releasing a single fatty acid as it breaks down. Your own sisters smell it within minutes. They don't grieve. They don't pause. They simply pick you up, carry you to the colony's trash heap outside, and go back to work. The space you left behind is already filled. It was filled before you finished falling. 18,000 legs were lost on raids no one outside this colony will ever hear about. 18,000 bodies were carried out to the same pile. 18,000 replacements were already waiting in the nursery, blind, legless, and ready to start the exact same cycle tomorrow. There is one more ant out there that doesn't even need a queen at all. Her entire colony is made of clones, and the babies are the ones in control.